Hey there, quirky people. We have something quite interesting for you today. The MCU is one of the most diverse cinematic universes out there. It has a plethora of movies along with numerous other media. It never stops fascinating us. And even after a decade of production, the premise is still fresh and interesting.
Hello, Peter.
With Phase 4, however, things have taken a very sinister turn. Loki saw the return of the God of Mischief. He teamed up with the female variant of himself, and they defeated the Beast in the Void.
Open your eyes!
That opened the path to the Citadel at the end of time, and they rushed in to meet one of the most sinister beings of the multiverse. We met He Who Remains, who is a variant of Kang.
I've been dubbed many names by many people. A ruler, a conqueror, he who remains, a jerk.
The ruler of the sacred timeline, the man behind the TVA, the placeholder for the timekeepers, and MCU's supposed big bad for the entire Phase 4. Although we may not know how the multiverse war will play out just yet, what we do know is that we need to build an arsenal for it.
No, give me that. You have the little one.
This war, or any war for that matter, is won with soldiers and preparation. But without weapons, even an army of well-trained warriors cannot stand much longer. So today, we will talk about the most powerful weapons that are coming into play in Phase 4. Up until Phase 3, we only had a few like Mjolnir, the Stormbreaker, Cap Shield, and Infinity Stones. Maybe we can include Tony's Iron Man suit on that list, but he called it an advanced prosthetic in Iron Man 2, so we will refrain from commenting. However, the loss of Mjolnir in Thor Ragnarok made us question it all. Just how powerful is a powerful weapon? Is the weapon more important than the wielder?
No, give me that. You have the little one.
Will we see more powerful weapons in the future of the current phase of the MCU? Some of these questions were answered when Thor acquired the Stormbreaker. His arrival in Infinity War still gives us chills to this day.
Bring me Thanos!
But some new questions were raised when Shang Chi came out. You see, we got a new and beautiful weapon out of the movie. The 10 rings, as presented in the MCU, made us ask certain questions. Just how many other powerful artifacts are hiding in the shadows of the MCU? Join us in this journey as we break down the 3 most powerful weapons we're getting in Phase 4. And mind you, all these weapons are much stronger than Mjolnir.
It's not possible.
They are all based on confirmed projects of the current phase. So, looking into them is going to be amazing. First up, we have
the 10 rings are stronger than anything in your universe.
In the comics, the rings were found by Mandarin in a crashed spaceship which was full of alien beings. These aliens looked like a fusion between dragons and men. They had a peculiar look and had even more peculiar tech. These people are the Mukluans from the planet Muklu 4. Axon Carr was an explorer who used the rings of power as a battery for their interstellar engine. Earth science could not explain the functionality of the rings, but as soon as the Mandarin saw them, he knew that he must steal them. The man is as power-hungry in the comics as in the movie. The movie does not go into much detail about the origin of the 10 rings. We were only told that the rings were found by Wenwu somewhere in a tomb, a crater, or some old ruins. This makes us think that we are yet to see their true power in the MCU. In Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, the rings seem to grant immortality to their wearer. This was not an ability they possessed in the comics. Moreover, the MCU version seems to be far more docile than the comics version. Don't get us wrong, the 10 rings are capable of causing a lot of destruction, but they cannot hold a candle to the destructive power of the Rings of Power. Regardless, the movie version seems to possess a large degree of kinetic energy. Not unlike Black Panther's suit, the wearer can also share this energy. Wenwu had his soldiers using weapons that were also powered by the ring's energy. The 10 rings of power in the comics have varied powers. Each ring houses a great warrior with their own ability. This makes the comic version much more powerful and destructive. We expect to see this specialized in future movies. although we are unsure whether this will be Shang Chi 2 or some other project altogether. But still, the rings are quite strong, as Shang Chi was able to take down the gigantic soul-sucking dragon with them, and they can be used in some very unique ways. I bet Mjolnir can't do that.
Stay.
Besides the 10 rings, it can't even compete with the Ebony Blade. Now this is a very interesting weapon. It is one of those that Marvel stole from ancient myths, much like most of their other storylines. I mean, just look at the entire Asgard pantheon. Marvel really made use of the Norse mythology there. And similarly, the Ebony Blade was found in a lot of fantasy settings. Including numerous games and books, it is often associated with a dark deity and is said to corrupt the hearts of the users. How peculiar, huh? Marvel's version of the blade was created by Sir Percy and Merlin. Merlin used the Starstone meteorite to create the enchanted blade. It was then blessed with the ability to cut through anything. I mean literally anything. Who knows, the MCU might give it the ability to cut through vibranium as well. Anyway, the blade also granted its user the power to not die. Yes, I literally mean invulnerability from death. It is a strange power, but the blade has it. And what's amazing is that it is also capable of deflecting all magic. But the sword has one major downside. Over a period of time, it starts to corrupt the heart of its users. Now, isn't that the most cliched thing we have heard in a while? Well, it was introduced in a golden age of comics, so maybe we should let the cliche slide. The blade influences the users in such a way that they end up as bloodlust beasts. Null, the Clinter god, noted that this was Merlin's trickery. He specifically made the blade corrupt, so that those who use it end up like savages. His theory was that the blade was created for the impure of heart, so that their dark side was accentuated when they used the weapon. This would mean that the user would soon devolve into a berserker. Null assumed that this was the intent of the creator. He even basked in the magnificence of this intent. Whether it is true or not, we cannot know for now. But you guys should know that we're going to witness the Ebony Blade in Eternals, as Dane Whitman is set to appear. It will be interesting to see where he finds it and how he becomes the Black Knight. As for the third weapon, we have the all-black NECROSWORD. This one comes straight out of the pages of Symbiote Comics. The all-black NECROSWORD is more of a living being than a weapon. It was created by one of the eldritch gods of the Marvel Universe. He called himself Null and claimed dominion over the Void. Null was a god who was considered as the avatar of Oblivion. He was born of the Abyss, housed in between the 6th and the 7th cosmos. Born out of spite for the light of the Celestials, Null created the first symbiote in the form of a sword. To display his power, he used this sword to behead a Celestial, who came to be known as Nowhere, at least in the MCU. Even though we are not getting Null in Thor: Love and Thunder, we will certainly get Gore the God Butcher. It is also confirmed that he will possess the all-black NECROSWORD. This sword has the power to end the life of divine beings, and that makes it extremely dangerous for any celestial beings he will be taking on, including gods like Zeus or Thor. Maybe it isn't a great thing that villain is literally named God Butcher, because that could mean bad news for Thor. But hey, if Thor defeats him, then the all-black NECROSWORD could be weaponized and used by the good guys. And keep in mind that we're getting another weapon in Thor: Love and Thunder. It is Mjolnir, but maybe not the original one. Yes, there is a chance that the same version of the hammer that Hela destroyed could be reformed. But we think that Jane will get a new Mjolnir forged by Eitri, and that might enable the weapon to be just as powerful as Stormbreaker.
No, give me that. You have the little one.
Do you remember that Eitri actually forged 2 weapons back in Infinity War? Maybe the second one was a new Mjolnir. And now, Thor may put a worthiness enchantment on it. Having proven worthy, Jane could be granted the powers of the mighty Thor.
Hammer went to Jane!
Nay, Jane took the hammer. This can't be happening.
It will be interesting to see how all this plays out. Okay, this brings our list of strong weapons to an end. Which of them are you excited about? Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!